Hello and welcome back, friends, to another episode of Golden Whispers because Joshi inspires aspirations. Friends, this is a series of daily reflections that aspire to ignite your passions, broaden your horizons, and guide you towards a life filled with a purpose. So get ready to be uplifted and motivated every day with Golden Whispers because Joshi inspires aspirations and cultivate a journey of personal growth together. ये श्रृंखला आपकी प्रेरणाओं को जगाती है और आपके उद्देश्यपूर्ण जीवन की ओर मार्गदर्शन कराती है। ये एक कोशिश है। दिस इज एन एफर्ट सो एज टू इम्प्रूव ऑन योर सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस, ऑन योर सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट। फ्रेंड्स, टुडेज टॉपिक इज द साइलेंस बिटवीन द वर्ड्स। है ना, कई बार हम बात करते करते रुक जाते हैं क्योंकि हमें लगता है यार कुछ बोलना चाहिए लेकिन नहीं बोलना चाहिए, और हम नहीं भी बात करते। The silence between the words is not emptiness. It is a pause that gives words their depth. कई बार जो हम नहीं कहते, ना कहने से ही हम सब कुछ कह जाते हैं। जैसे पता है, जब बच्चा कोई मस्ती करता है तो उसकी माँ सिर्फ उसकी तरफ देखती है, वर्ड्स की जरूरत ही नहीं है। बच्चा समझ जाता है गलत हो रहा है, एंड नाउ ही फॉल्स इन लाइन। दैट इज व्हाट द terrific impact of not using the words or silence between the words. So just as music would be meaningless without the spaces between notes, communication too draws its power from what is left unsaid. This silence is not absence but presence. It is the canvas on which words are painted. In human interaction, it reflects patience, attention, and respect for both oneself and others also. कई बार झगड़े भी इस वजह से होते कि हमें जो बात उस वक्त नहीं कहनी चाहिए हम कह देते हैं। नाउ द फाइट स्टार्ट। अर्लियर तो अच्छा कम्युनिकेशन चल रहा था, लेकिन हमने बीच में पॉज नहीं लिया और बातें कहते गए। कब हम ड्रिफ्ट हो गए फ्रॉम गुड कम्युनिकेशन टू एन अल्टरकेशन, we never know. Hence, silence between the words is a must. We have to think while talking, also while speaking, also while communicating with anyone. So the core essence is, when we embrace the silence between the words, we stop rushing. We take a pause. We listen not just to reply but to understand, what become aware that silence often reveals more truth than hurried speech. है ना, हम सभी अवेयरनेस तभी आ जाता है जब हम एक पॉज लेते हैं, हम समझते हैं सामने वाले की बात और कौन सी बात अभी कहनी है वो हम डिसाइड करते हैं। इफ यू आर नॉट डिसाइडिंग ऑन दैट, then you are just uttering the words as they come to your mind, and they now change the communication from a good communication to altercation, to a fight, war of words, which is not at all required. So this pause allows clarity to bloom, emotions to settle, and wisdom to shine through. सामने वाला भी समझ जाता है, अरे हाँ ये अच्छा था, तो we are called अच्छा आदमी, because now we have understood what is to be spoken or what we should speak about, and is it necessary at that moment of time. That is the question that you are answering to yourself when you are taking a pause within a communication. So what you withhold sometimes speaks louder than what you utter. So friends, जब भी आप बात कर रहे हैं तो कभी अगर मन में ऐसा लगे कि नहीं नहीं अभी थोड़ा रुकना चाहिए, अब सोचना चाहिए, इमीडिएटली रुक जाइए। और ये होता है, नियति हमको ये पिन पॉइंट कर देती है, हमको ये इंट्यूशन आ जाता है नहीं बात करनी है। फिर भी अगर हम वो मर्यादा उल्लंघन करके बात कर देते हैं, नाउ बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द अल्टरकेशंस, because that is the main cause of altercation. So practicing this art sharpens our self-awareness. Whether we can control ourselves is more important. In moments of silence, we comfort our own thoughts, our fears, and our dreams. Instead of drowning in constant chatter, चल रहा है चल रहा है चल रहा है, तो हम कभी कभी कहते हैं ना, बस अभी रुको जरा, मुझे शांति से सोचने दो. सो वो जो पेशेंस चाहिए, we learn to filter what truly matters. So this nurtures that patience, discipline, and the ability to think before reacting. नहीं, झगड़े इस वजह से होते कि हम तुरंत रिएक्ट कर देते हैं. जस्ट अलाउ दैट मोमेंट टू पास ऑन. टेक अ पॉज and you will realize that you have saved yourself, your energy from unnecessary altercations, which is not at all fruitful to anyone, not to others, not to even ourselves. So, in self development, silence is quite important. So, it is like a gym where muscles of focus, mindfulness, and maturity are built. We are developing ourselves by following this ritual, or I should say, this practice. Because taking a pause between the communication is more important, that you give the message that you are understanding what we are speaking about, or what we are talking about, or what we are discussing about, and then you react. So silence gives confidence because it breaks the compulsion to fill every gap with words. कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है. थोड़ा पॉज दिया मतलब उसको कुछ कहना चाहिए, नहीं नहीं, कोई जरूरत नहीं है. You have to practice that. The person who can sit comfortably in silence radiates inner strength. वो सामने वाले को भी नजर आ जाता है, अरे हाँ वो कहीं गलत कर रहा है, लेकिन ये इंसान कुछ बात नहीं कर रहा है. That is the impact it gives. They are not desperate to prove themselves through क्या कह सकते हैं कि बहुत सारे एक्सप्लेनेशन देते बैठे, है ना. हम हमेशा सुनते हैं, नहीं मुझे ऐसा नहीं कहना था लेकिन ऐसा कहना, तो पहले कहा क्यों. If you are to explain your act, then there is a serious question about the thought process, because we are not at all taking a pause in our communication, and this has created the chaos. So let their words carry weight, because you are few and deliberate people who understand and then react. They are not in a free flow moment. चलो अभी बात कर लें, सब एक ही बात बता देता हूँ. कई बार भी ऐसे होता है, मैंने सब कुछ कह दिया, मैंने कोई किसी का ना देखा ना कुछ करना, मैं बोल दिया आज ही मैं ऐसा करने वाला हूँ. So you should think twice before you utter such words, whereby you are forced to give explanation on your act. Isn't it a fault on your part? Yes, because you are wasting your time twice on the same topic. That is, we are harping on the topic again and again. So avoid that. So the people who take a pause, who take a who are silent between the communication, they carry weight because they are a few and deliberate people. That pause, that calm pause before answering, creates an aura of authority and self assurance. है ना. कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है, सामने वाले को भी पता चल जाता है. That is important. So the silence between words teaches us that growth doesn't always roar. It often whispers. धीरे से बता देती है, लेकिन you have to follow that. Self-confidence doesn't come from loudness, no, but from balance, from knowing when to speak and when to let go, when to be silent and when to talk about that particular topic. Now, this deepens our relationship. It refines our communication part. Like the stillness of dawn before the sun rises, silence between the words is not a void, it is a power in disguise. So, सुबह का सूरज जब आता है तब हमें जो आकाश की तरफ देखोगे तो there is a different layer of colors that we see. So, the silence during that period is not void. खालीपन नहीं है वो. इट्स अ पावर इन डिस्गाइज कि मैं शांति से बैठा हूं और अभी सोच रहा हूं. इसीलिए सब कहते हैं कि सुबह योर मॉर्निंग शुड बिकम जल्दी, मतलब जल्दी उठ के आपकी मॉर्निंग शुरुआत होनी चाहिए. The day should start early. So you understand all your appointments and the commitments you are given, and plan accordingly what to speak and what not to speak. That is more important, friends. So plan it out and work it out. I sign off on this note, friends, and we meet again in another episode of Golden Whispers, because which inspires aspirations. Till then, bye bye. Enjoy the day, friends. Enjoy the life. It is a one time activity. Do enjoy.